retaliatory strike scenarios.
When are they operational?
At the President's command.
No prep time.
We're there.
All three scenarios are comprehensive, meet the obligations of proportional response, and pose minimum risk to American personnel and assets. Scenario 1, or Pericles 1, to use its code name, sir.
What is the virtue of a proportional response?
I'm sorry?
What is the virtue of a proportional response? Why is it good? They hit an airplane, so we hit a transmitter, right? That's a proportional response.
Sir, in the case of Pericles 1...
They hit a barracks, we hit 2 transmitters.
That's roughly it, yes, sir.
This is what we do. I mean, this is what we do.
Yes, sir. It's what we do. It's what we've always done.
Well, if it's what we do, if it's what we've always done, don't they know we're going to do it?
Sir, if you turn your attention to Pericles 1.
I have turned my attention to Pericles 1. It's 2 ammo dumps, an abandoned railroad bridge, and a Syrian intelligence agency.
Those are 4 highly rated targets, sir.
But they know we're going to do that. They know we're going to do that. Those areas have been abandoned for 3 days now. We know that from the satellite, right? We have the intelligence.
Sir.
They did that, so we did this. It's the cost of doing business. It's been factored in, right?
Mr. President.
Am I right, or am I missing something here?
No, sir, you're right, sir.
Then I ask again, what is the virtue of a proportional response?
It isn't virtuous, Mr. President. It's all there is, sir.
It is not all there is.
Sir, Admiral Fitzwallace.
Excuse me, Leo. Pardon me, Mr. President. Just what else is there?
The disproportional response. Let the word ring forth from this time and this place, gentlemen. You kill an American, any American, we don't come back with a proportional response. We come back with total disaster.
Mr. President, are you suggesting we carpet bomb Damascus?
I am suggesting, General, that you and Admiral Fitzwallace and Secretary Hutchison and the rest of the national security team take the next 60 minutes and put together an American response scenario that doesn't make me think we are just docking somebody's damn allowance. Keep your seats. There's a delegation of cardiologists having their pictures taken in the Blue Room. You wouldn't think you could find a group of people more arrogant than the 15 of us, but there they are, right upstairs in the Blue Room. You called me?
Yes, sir. Mr. President, we put together a scenario by which we attack Hassan Airport. Its 3 main terminals and 2 runways. In addition to the civilian casualties, which could register in the thousands, the strike would temporarily cripple the region's ability to receive medical supplies and bottled water. Now, I think Mr. Cashman and Secretary Hutchinson would each tell you what I'm sure you already know, sir, that this strike would be seen both at home and abroad as a staggering overreaction by a first-time commander-in-chief. That without the support of our allies, without a Western coalition, without Great Britain and Japan, and without Congress, you'll have doled out $5,000 worth of punishment for a $50 crime, sir. Mr. President, a proportional response doesn't empty the options box for the future the way an all-out assault would.
Thank you. Does anyone have a cigarette? This other plan.
Pericles 1, sir.
Pericles 1, yes. No civilian casualties?
We can't promise that, sir.
But you're as certain as you can be.
Yes, sir.
And what are the military implications?
We'll cripple both their intelligence network and their surface-to-air strike capability.
Very well. How does this work?
You give me the go order, sir. Mr. President.
I'm saying...
Hang on, a lot of those cases...
In this report, by the way...
report.
No, I'm saying...
We can read.
We know the report.
We know the report. A lot of those cases you're talking about of the gays being discharged came from voluntary statements.
And a lot of these are not voluntary statements, not by any definition given by any civilian court in this country. It is not a voluntary statement when it's given to a psychotherapist, as in the case of former Marine Corporal David Blessing. It is not a voluntary statement when it's made in a personal diary, as in the case of former West Point cadet Nicole Garrison. It is not when it's made after being asked, as in the case of Master Chief Petty Officer Diane Kelly. And it is not when it is coerced out of a service member through fear, through intimidation, through death threats, and threats of criminal prosecution, as in the case of former Air Force Major Bob Kittis, former Marine Gunnery Sergeant Kevin Keyes, and 4 sailors aboard the USS Essex.
Sam, you take care of your guys, we'll take care of ours.
You're not taking care of your guys, Major. Your guys are out looking for jobs.
Those weren't our guys.
Oh, my God.
Attention!
Good afternoon, Sam.
Mr. Chairman.
Congressman.
How do you do, Admiral?
Good to see you again, kid. We haven't met.
Mike Satchel.
From Oregon.
Yes, sir.
Percy Fitzwallace.
It's an honor to meet you, Admiral.
I imagine it would be, yes.
Major Tate, Major Thompson, this is Chairman Fitzwallace.
They're not going to speak until I speak to them, Sam. They're pretty well trained. Stand easy, fellas. This Danish for anybody?
Oh, yes, sir.
Thank you. We're discussing gays in the military, huh?
Yes, sir.
What do you think? I said, what do you think?
Sir, we're here to help the White House form a policy.
I know. I'm asking you what you think.
Sir, we're not prejudiced toward homosexuals.
You just don't want to see them serving in the armed forces.
No, sir, I don't.
Because they pose a threat to unit discipline and cohesion.
Yes, sir.
That's what I think, too. I also think the military wasn't designed to be an instrument of social change.
Yes, sir.
Problem with that is, that's what they were saying about me 50 years ago. Blacks shouldn't serve with whites. It would disrupt the unit. You know what? It did disrupt the unit. The unit got over it. The unit changed. I'm an admiral in the U.S. Navy and chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Beat that with a stick. We'll see you, Ken.
Excuse me. Mr. Chairman. Just thanks for stopping in.
You're not going to get anywhere.
The president just wanted some exploratory meetings.
Yeah. President.
Is the pilot still alive?
He had an ACES 200 ejector seat on board.
NATO command in Brussels says the Aegis systems on the North Dakota picked up a tracking signal in the Foul Peninsula, south of Basra.
He's in the middle of nowhere.
Who else is out there?
The 4th Corps of the Iraqi RG would patrol the area.
Somebody's within 10 miles of the pilot.
Our guy is 10 miles from the 4th Corps of the Iraqi Republican Guard.
It's a matter of who gets there first.
Fitz, you got a rescue scenario?
Yeah. The 16th Special Operations Group out of Hurlburt Field.
They use the Pave Hawks.
And the MH-53J.
These are specially equipped helicopters. They fly treetop altitude at about 180 knots.
Mr. President, can I suggest that rather than jumping into a military rescue plan,
please.
that a phone call to Iraqi ambassador...
Phil, you want to check with the embassy?
I'm saying, Leo, that 3 hours spent on diplomatic solutions...
I'll tell you what, Phil. How about I drop you and your $47 million American warplane that's already been picked up by Iraqi radar in the middle of a desert? Then you tell me if we've got 3 hours to find a diplomatic solution before we come get you.
What's his name?
No, I'm sorry, sir.
The pilot, what's his name?
Captain Scott Hotchkiss,
Where's he from?
Rhode Island,
How old is he?
26.
Rob told me in my intelligence briefing last week that the Iraqi government's put out a bounty, the equivalent of $14,000 U.S., for any American plane shot down or any American soldier captured. Now, he was just patrolling the no-fly zone, right?
Yes, sir.
He had not engaged.
No, sir.
Phil, if it ends up Fitzwallace has to call this kid's parents, I swear to God, I'm invading Baghdad. Get him back.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. A U.S. Air Force F-117A Nighthawk stealth fighter attack aircraft flying a routine patrol out of Al Jaber Air Force Base in Kuwait was shot down over the southern no-fly zone in Iraq. At this point, we don't know the condition of the pilot. We do know the plane carries an ACES 200 ejector seat and that it was activated. General Richmond and General Clancy will talk more about that in a moment.
CJ!
Danny!
Is there a rescue mission underway?
Obviously, there are a number of scenarios being contemplated, but I wouldn't want to speculate. We have been in touch with the Iraqi government, and the president is looking for a diplomatic solution.
There have been no military moves.
No. CJ! Chris.
Charlie? Sir. Mr. President?
Fitz, do you have any news at all?
Actually, I think I'm going to have something in just a minute. They'll put the call through here.
Okay.
You mind if I wait with you, sir?
No.
How you feeling?
I feel fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, I feel fine.
The eagle on the seal in the carpet. In one talon, he's holding arrows, and in the other, an olive branch. Most of the time, the eagle is facing the olive branch, but when Congress declares war, the eagle faces the arrows. How did he do that? Do you think they've got a second carpet sitting around in the basement someplace?
I don't know.
Maybe this piece in the middle cuts out and they do it like a basketball court.
I honestly don't know, Fitz.
Excuse me, Chairman. That's your call, the blinking light.
Thank you. I'll stop bugging you in just a minute, Mr. President. Yeah. Thanks. Mr. President, I have Captain Scott Hotchkiss on the phone. He's cleared Iraqi airspace, and he's on his way to Tel Aviv.
Fitz.
Congratulations, sir.
The kid's all right?
He's got a sprained ankle.
Well, that's a job awfully well done, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I owe you one.
No, that's not how it works.
All the same, I'm going to check out that thing with the carpet.
Talk to the pilot.
Seriously, I'm going to get an answer for you on that. Captain Hotchkiss, this is President Bartlet. How's your ankle? Good. Before you say another word, give me your parents' phone number. I never get to make this call. Did we solve immunity?
Sir.
Did we solve it?
Yes, sir. But it doesn't matter.
Why?
Judge would throw out the case. The entire chain of evidence leading us to Sharif originates with the testimony of the Chechnyan prisoner.
Yeah?
His testimony was reached after prolonged physical abuse by Russian soldiers.
He was tortured.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm no lawyer, but I'm pretty sure that's inadmissible.
Yes, sir.
We'll come up with a less aggressive way of... We'll cancel his trip here, obviously, but we'll come up with something then. That's a ballgame.
This is always when you say something.
No. No. Have you changed shampoo? You have. I can tell, because your hair seems bouncy and more manageable.
I like to look good for you.
Well, I appreciate it. Can you tell when it's peacetime and wartime anymore?
No.
I don't know who the world's leading expert on warfare is, but any list at the top has got to include me, and I can't tell when it's peacetime and wartime anymore.
Look, international laws always recognize certain protected persons who you couldn't attack. It's been this way since the Romans.
In peacetime.
Yes?
The Battle of Agincourt. This was the French fighting against the British archers. This was like a polo match. The battles were observed by heralds, and they picked the winners. And if a soldier laid down his arms, he was treated humanely.
Yeah.
And the international laws that you're talking about, this is where a lot of them were written. At a time and a place where a person could tell between peacetime and wartime. The idea of targeting one person was ridiculous. It wouldn't have occurred to the French to try to kill William Pitt. That all changed after Pearl Harbor.
I don't like where this conversation's going. In the Situation Room, Fitz.
We killed Yamamoto, we shot down his plane.
We declared war.
If Dietrich Bonhoeffer had been successful.
And the plot to kill
there would
Hitler
have been
was an internal
statues built
rebellion.
of an assassin. We'd have had to explain that to our kids.
I'm gonna get back to the office.
We measure the success of a mission by two things. Was it successful, and how few civilians did we hurt? They measure success by how many. Pregnant women are delivering bombs. You're talking to me about international laws? The laws of nature don't even apply here. I've been a soldier for 38 years, and I've found an enemy I can kill. He can't cancel Sharif's trip, Leo. You've got to tell him he can't cancel it.
Is the First Lady still in Madison?
I'm pretty sure I'll check.
Tell me again when the President's back.
3 o'clock, wheels down.
What's his first?
Treasurer of the United States, not to be confused with Treasury Secretary.
The Treasurer of the United States deals with the color of money. What's the meeting about?
Color currency.
Push it, and push his meeting on health and fitness. And want the trade rep and as many of the economic advisors as we can at the 3:30.
Speaking of health and fitness.
Oh, merciful God.
What did you have?
I had half a grapefruit.
Really?
You think I'm lying?
No.
Okay.
Yes?
I'll be in the sit room for a minute. I'd like him when he's done at the site. Good morning.
Leo.
Morning, Leo. The Dow's down 260.
Is it gonna rebound?
What do I know? Could somebody get me half a grapefruit? I got Jack LaLanne working for me this week.
Yes, sir.
Hey, let's go around the table for the quick sheet.
A small force of North Korean soldiers may stage an incursion into the DMZ.
That's a reaction to the president's trip to Seoul, right?
Yeah.
Okay. South America?
General Garcia has declared himself in rebellion against Carlos Velasco.
Is Velasco's government in danger, or is this just another crazy general with guns? No offense, Fitz?
Yeah.
The Venezuela desk still says wait till Garcia calls for the elections.
Okay. Africa.
The government of Mozambique is requesting a peacekeeping force to help distribute grain.
A peacekeeping force to distribute grain?
Yes, sir.
Middle East?
Nothing, really. We got a communique from the new ambassador.
To where?
I'm sorry. Kumar.
About what?
Well, a month ago, they reopened the investigation into Sharif's missing plane.
They find anything?
I don't know, but the emergency locator transmitter never went off,
Yeah.
so...
We'll assemble all the military rescue efforts and feed them into state. They can give the ambassador and the Sultan another report.
Yeah, all right. Eastern Europe?
Warsaw transit workers are threatening to go on strike.
Why?
They haven't been paid in 4 months.
Whoa, whoa, you're not supposed to be here.
Yeah, I just wanted to check with...
The orders were very
Hey!
strict.
Go home.
I am.
You haven't had a day off since the convention. You've been up the past 2 nights, and I don't want a zombie.
Right.
The energy book is done. The Midwest poll is out. Pawn off the surrogate movements and get a few hours sleep.
I just came to check on the Southern governors. Somebody's got to be watching the politics.
Somebody is. The White House Office of Political Affairs.
Where is he?
He's about to go on at Fort Bristol.
You know the Dow's down 270.
Go to sleep.
I'm not fighting with you.
The chairman's here.
Thanks. The tracks are covered.
Yeah.
We did a legitimate SAR with the UK and Royal Khmer Guard. This was a plane that went down in the Bermuda Triangle. Plain and simple.
And that really happens.
What do you mean?
The Bermuda Triangle.
Does it really happen?
I thought maybe it was like Toscanini landing in the cornfield.
Planes, boats, about 200 of them, including 5 Navy Avenger bombers and the rescue plane that went in after them.
Is there a chance they're gonna find the plane?
We dismantled the ELT, left the plane in 27 pieces, scattered among other wrecks, buried in underwater landslides and limestone cliffs. And if they find the plane, there's still no evidence of anything being anything. These were SEALs, and these were special ops. And these guys know what they're doing.
Okay. Let's obviously stay in touch during the day.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, what do you think would happen?
I don't know what would happen to you and me, but I'm pretty sure the president would be invited to see the inside of The Hague.
Yeah, well, they can invite all they want. He ain't going.
Perhaps this would be a good time for you to reconsider your position on an international war crime tribunal.
Perhaps this would be a good time for you to...
Get out of your office.
Yeah.
Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. President.
Allergy medicine and tractor fluid we're getting high on now.
All right, you guys getting strippers or something?
How do we do it?
Basically, Langley manufactures documents, photographs, audio messages, even a body double if necessary.
Is this going to get ridiculous?
Absolutely. We make sure agents in Iraq, Syria, and Iran get a whiff of the story, and word inside and outside of the palace spreads.
We'll see it on Al Jazeera?
If we do our jobs.
No disinformation to U.S. press, right? We don't give disinformation to American press, unless it's about my medical history?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go.
Thank you, Mr. President.